Hello and welcome back to Father of Two Plays Pillars of Eternity, Blind. Last time we helped out Pernisk and his fiancée with a wizard problem they had. Now, we got some things to do. One of them is go to the library in this part of town.
Good day to you.
And another of them is to go to the Ducal Palace for a deer. But before we do any of that, we're gonna sell some stuff off. What's this? Filter? Okay. We don't need a filter right now. We don't need no stinking filter. I'm just gonna sell all this stuff right now, except for the Hearth Harvest, because it's unique. And we'll make a little money here. Guess we'll keep one fine robe. Never know, and the fine brigandine, just in case we have some people who need armor. Now, gonna keep one of each thing. One of each. One of each. Think that we got one of each. And we'll keep all that stuff. I'm not getting rid of my books just yet. And we're not selling any of this either. So, we made a little money. I mean, we doubled our money. A little more than doubled, actually, but...
Hey.
Now, I don't know if I want to head in here immediately. The Expedition Hall. I guess we're right here. We might as well. I have a feeling we'll run into some quests. Oh, we gotta go down there to see it. The shields have been battered and scarred in long-ago battles. Somebody's house here? I suppose we could see if anyone's home? Many aspects of the interface and display could be adjusted to your personal preferences in the options menu. Okay. Right, everyone knows the plan? Up the wall and in the window. Grab the jewel for the pretty little lord. We got it. Listen, dwarf, if I have to... Langdon, we have company. I think I should go. Langdon steps forward and draws his rapier. Afraid I can't allow that. You've made a grave mistake coming here. He raises his blade. Okay, yeah, apparently we did. And I unpaused it a bunch of times. Alrighty. Fireball? Actually, no, we'll go with Fireball for now. Shoot. Okay, you get in there. Take him down, hopefully. We're gonna mark this guy. And I think... Who is this? Slag? He looks big and mean. Perhaps we should have the wolf block him from getting to us. Now, is anybody... Oh, yeah. Our Almal friend is not doing anything. I think we gotta take out that person as soon as possible. Durance. You just wait a moment. Okay, Langdon got hurt bad, but so did a deer. Now, heals? No, we won't bother right away here. I fireballed my own guys. That was not smart. Alright. Surika is almost dead. So let's start laying into this archer. Slag? It's almost dead, too. What are you doing, Aloth? Nothing at the moment? Hit that guy. like. Is he, like, not alive? Does he not have a health bar? What's going on with him? Let's see. Let's focus our attacks over there for now. A deer. Keep attacking him. The wolf is down already. Durance. Yeah, let's use this. Alright, another foe down. Or maybe the first foe down. No, that's 2. Let's get a zoom in here. Durance is healing. Should we use a spell? Yes, that seems like a good idea. Wounding shot? Okay, now we can see his health. Weird, we couldn't before. You can attack this guy, Adir. Guess we don't necessarily want to pull them out of position there. Nice, that frost killed the crap out of them. That's the technical term for what just happened there. Okay, so these guys were stealing something, and we wandered into the wrong place. Let's give that to Aloth. Other than that, the rest could go to our stash. Oh, a letter. A 2-story job. Tell somebody about the plot. I've learned of a plot to rob a Brackenbury nobleman, Lord Raymond, and a letter that describes the plans in detail. I unintentionally thwarted the would-be thieves when I stumbled upon their hideout. Their note lays out instructions for breaking into Lord Raymond's manor and stealing something called the Heart of the White March. The letter would probably be of interest to both Lord Raymond and someone with the initials A.D. A.D. That must be the person who gave them the job. I think we want to give it to Lord Raymond. Let's read the letter. Oh, I didn't put it in my inventory. They're in here. There we go. Crumpled notes. Fulvano's travels. It must be one of these notes. This one? No. Where did it go? Maybe I can't read it? Huh. I'm not sure what happened with that. A few bedrolls and spare tunics are bundled in the corner. Long, jagged tears slice across the garden scene in the painting.
Hey.
What's on the table? Adra and some money, not bad.
All right, then.
We should check for
an eye out.
Traps.
I can do that. That's settled.
And we'll take all.
Hey.
So there's a door going somewhere. Nothing. Oh, what is this?
The fire shows me something new.
Bloodstones hidden under the floorboards. Well, floor stones. Okay, let's save. Let's check this door. Hello? Anybody else home? No? Not a bad house. Muddy boot prints and splotches of ale stain the bed sheets. What dinks? Trap detected. Okay.
Something over there.
Well, we'll check these first. Take all. I have a feeling we have a book here. Indeed. House Dominel. Wow, that's a long one. What could be said about House Dominel that isn't whispered fearfully in a back room over the dim light of a dying fire in fear that the wrong set of ears will hear it? The Dominel history is colorful and violent, exciting, and more than a little bloody. The Dominels were a small Adieran family that dealt almost exclusively in textiles. They made a modest living, slowly gaining a reputation for having high-quality product. This reputation earned them connections, business, social, and sometimes marital, that solidified their position as the premier family of the region. If you wanted access to anyone, the Dominels were the way to do it. Soon, every city had a business that was owned, at least in part, by the Dominels. Their power and influence grew until many said the family had more power than even the Ferkening of Adir. Have a little drink here. But when the power came, or with the power came corruption, one cannot have that level of control and expect to keep it through a strictly legal means. Soon, rumors were spreading of threats and extortion, though it cannot be proven. The official report is that the Dominels were responsible for the death of Trindig Bernwiger, which left his entire shipping empire in the hands of his wife, Udel Dominel Berwiger. Or Bernwiger. Bernweir? Let's say Bernweir, that seems better. With their hold on the land practically secured, the Dominels no longer stuck to the shadows, brazenly eliminating opponents, manipulating deals, and threatening anyone who might cause them a problem. Because they now dominated the trade route, no one dared oppose them anymore, for fear their business would be strangled. Like most empires, though, not even theirs could last forever. The end came during the War of Defiance. Unlike most of the land, the Dominels threw in with Edir instead of Admeth Hadret. After the defeat of the Empire and the destruction wrought on the land during the war, not even the Dominels could rebuild what they had, and having history show them on the wrong side of the war, no one would touch the name. The domain that took years to build crumbled in mere months. Today, the Dominels have once again built a name for themselves, proving they are still capable and savvy business people. Rumors about the family still circulate, though. Word is members of the family are striving to lift the family from its current obscurity and elevate it to the level of power it once held. Wonder if that has anything to do with the thievery that's going on here.
Hey.
So we'll send our mage over here
Following your lead.
to
Hey.
disarm the trap. I was going to say dispel.
What?
Disarm the trap.
That's settled.
And it's some gold and bloodstone. Not
Hey.
bad. These could go to him. Well, I guess when we defuse them, we get to keep them. That's pretty cool.
Hey.
Another reason for him to have my main character, that is, to have high mechanics. Muddy boot prints and splotches of ale stain the bedsheets. Dunride Row? Well, let's check it out. Dunride Row. The origins and practices of Dunride Row are difficult to nail down. When asked, everyone seems to know how Dunride Row started and how long it's been in operation, yet every person asked gives a different account of its creation and a different date. The only thing that everyone could agree on is that it seems to have been around as long as anyone can remember. Without fail, everyone recalls hearing about the exploits of Dunride Row when they were children. I think we read this before, near the beginning. Let's check our... what do you call it? Stash. Take a look here. Dunride Row. I guess it's probably the same color. No? We didn't read this one? Okay, well I'll finish reading it then. Unless I'm mistaken and we did read it. Doesn't matter, I'm going to read it anyway. Aside from the organization being comprised of special investigators, most of whom seem to be ciphers, and the fact that they seem to have their hands in everything, yet never admit to it, anything reported about Dunride Row walks the line between truth and outright hearsay. Information abounds, but no one can say which fragments are truth and which are fiction. I will provide all I have encountered and leave it to the readers to decide for themselves, as all of it feels both plausible and unbelievable at turns. The group is supposedly named after the street where its headquarters are located in a building called Hadret House. No, I definitely remember this one. I'm going to finish reading it, though. It is said in some circles that this is just the name they want people to think they're known by. Their real headquarters, people whisper, is elsewhere. Why would they do this? It's simple. It's far easier for them to infiltrate, to hide, to carry on behind the scenes if everyone is concentrating on Dunride Row. Divert attention where you want people to look and you can act behind their backs with impunity. People who have had interactions with agents from Dunride Row invariably describe them as unmemorable. No detail as to their appearance, behavior, or anything beyond the fact that they were seen seems to stick with anyone. Are they truly nondescript, or do their ciphers use their powers to remain anonymous? As with so many questions regarding Dunride Row, no one seems to know. While no specific details about the agents are ever reported, one fact that all people agree with is that they seem primarily to be Orlans and Glanfithan elves, though theories as to why this may be are many and conflicting. Their presumed headquarters is supposedly run by Lady Adis Webb. Though no one seems able to pinpoint the time of her arrival, the author was unable to locate a single person familiar with Dunride Row who could remember a time when she wasn't around. Many things are hinted at behind closed doors about Lady Webb, but few are willing to elaborate, for it is rumored that although she has not left Hadret House since anyone can remember, she is a cipher of tremendous power, and that she could read thoughts of the entire city at will. Theories abound regarding her age, her reasons for what would seem to be a lifetime of seclusion, and even of her secret control over all of Defiance Bay, if not Deerwood itself. But, as with all other matters regarding the organization, no one seems to be able to say anything for sure. I wonder if we'll meet them, or if that's like a cipher quest that I won't really get into, because I'm not a cipher. Interesting, though. I do remember reading that. But I'm happy to read it again. It is well written. Have another drink here while it's loading. Okay. So, we found a random house with a robbery going on.
That mud hole, Gilded Vale. I grew up in Gilded Vale. Quaint. That's what I meant to call it. No, you had it right.
That's pretty funny. Oh, I think there was someone down here whose soul we could see. A couple of people. You see a dimly lit room with extravagant decoration. Pillows of silk brocade cover the floor surrounding a large velvet-covered divan. A man sits on the divan, his shirt untucked and only halfway buttoned. Behind him stands this elf dressed in the same lavish finery as decorates the room. Her lips gyrate gently, dancing around the man as she begins to sing. He looks up at her blearily, intoxication clouding his vision. He smiles, tunelessly humming along with her. Her words are too low to hear clearly, but as her singing grows more intense, the lights in the room seem to dim even further and everything loses focus. She takes her face in her hands, his face in her hands, singing directly to him, running her hands down his shoulder and arms until she is holding his hands. The man's eyes grow heavy and he quickly succumbs to sleep, slumping backwards. She holds his arm, catching him as he falls, and gently lays him down across the divan. She stops singing, and when his head hits the pillow and suddenly the lights brighten back up and everything snaps back into focus, she slips her hand into his jacket, retrieving an item that she placed in a small box sitting on a nearby table. She looks back at the man, shaking her head, and escapes into the night. What was her name? Hilda? Lenkill Greatstorm. You see a man stumble, knees bleeding, clothes torn, eyes dead. His skin is damp with sweat, but he pushes onward. His back is arched, defeated. At his side hangs a bow, strings limp from disuse. He trips through the undergrowth, sightless, ignoring all but the sound of his own anguish. He comes across a deer, guts spilled across the forest floor, still steaming in the cold night air. A Stalgar watches him from above, perched on the trunk of an enormous fallen tree. It takes the man a moment to notice his danger, and he seems almost glad for it. The Stalgar unravels itself from the tree, eyeing him carefully. Its distended stomach almost brushes the ground as it jumps down. The man dives to meet it. For a moment, time seems to slow as man and beast collide. The Stalgar roars, swiping at him with its claws, and soon has him pinned, great yellow teeth and acrid breath ready to end his intrusion. But with a wet ripping sound instead, the agonized Stalgar is himself gutted from the neck to rump. The man exhales deeply, covered in blood, ponderous. Not today. Not today. There was someone up here, wasn't there? That we just saw? Whose soul we could interact with? Thought so. Maybe she's further this way, she or he. Oh yeah. Odan the Ingenious. Recording pause there, I'm not sure why. You see a small band of people walking down a rutted road surrounded by a thick forest. This man walks alongside them, chatting and joking like they were lifelong friends. Though his appearance is one of frivolity, his jovial facade is betrayed by the occasional sideways glance into the dense tree line. There is a noise from the trees around them, the sound of someone breaking a twig. The man holds up his hand, silencing the travelers and destroying the light-hearted tone of their evening. They look around, worried expressions on their faces, gathering closer together. The man motions to the group to stay where they are and heads into the trees. There is silence for several seconds as they all strain to hear anything, clutching one another nervously. There is another rustling, this time coming from the direction the man entered the woods. A single figure emerges from the tree line, and the group visibly relaxes. Seeing him approach, the figure comes close enough for the group to see his face, and one of them lets out a cry of dismay when they realize this is not their friend. No sooner has the sound left his mouth than the other group emerges from the woods, weapons drawn, surrounding the travelers. As none of them are armed or in any state to fight, they are quickly subdued, bound, and relieved of their valuables. With a laugh, the bandits disappear back into the woods, leaving their quarry on the road. Safely back inside the forest, they meet up with the man. He smiles, mocking the gullibility of people who will trust a complete stranger as long as he buys them a drink. He takes his share of the spoils and leaves.
Hey.
Does that make you ingenious or just a jerk? Odan. The shields have been... Oh, okay, we've seen that before. Let's head inside then. Let's quick save on the way, obviously, is what I just did. There's the entrance. What's this? Admin's Den. Can we go over here? Anything down there? Doesn't appear to be. We'll check this side just in case. And we're good. Okay, let's head inside. Your character's biography writes itself as your adventures unfold. Check the journal tab of the quest window.
The dozens may not like us foreigners much, but they certainly don't mind taking our coin.
Wenin? Bandon Lear. A well-groomed man steps through the hall with a confident swagger, a smug grin etched on his face. He is flanked by 5 other hard-looking individuals. Bane the Nimble. One of his companions eyes you for a moment before spitting chew at your feet. Another pup come wandering in, I see. Just know that Bane's giant slayers run things around here and you'll be fine. Whatever you say. That's good advice. Here's the rest. 1. The choice bounties are ours. 2. The giant slayers don't share. It's that simple. A voice bellows across the hall. Enough jabber, Bine. You don't do the job, or you're gonna do the job, or talk about it. Bine the Nimble, his jaws tighten. Weenan's right, that coin ain't gonna collect itself. He looks at his comrades and jerks his chin towards the door. See you around, pup. That guy had no clothes on. They seem to be adversarial towards us. So, that's kind of cool. That's this map, I mean, in the middle. It's topographical. It's raised in some places. Daggers mark the locations of various Angwithan ruins. Notes posted around the map list bets on current expeditions. Couple of people. Oh, we don't want to pick their chest. Couple of people here to check the souls of. Corin. You see 3 human boys walking through a city street, pushing each other and joking with one another. They stop, one of them pointing down the road, and look at each other. This Orlan, though younger and smaller, is the target of their attention. She has a handful of coins that she passes from hand to hand and is moving towards the marketplace. The boys move quickly, working their way around her through the crowd until they form a line in front of her, herding her into a shadowy corner away from the main thoroughfare. The boys taunt her, accusing her of stealing the coins, talking over her protests of innocence. They threaten her, telling her they will turn her over to the city watch for thievery if she doesn't give them the coins because they can help at least 3 unfortunates with the money. One of the boys reaches for the coins, but she pulls her hand back. He cuffs the side of her head and grabs her hand, forcing it open, letting the coins drop into his palm. The boy laughs, thanking her for her service, and then disappears into the crowd. The Orlan looks around, tears welling in her eyes. She spies a member of the watch and runs over, telling him that she was just robbed. The guard is unmoved, informing her that if he helps, she's just going to let it happen again next time. She protests, telling him that it's his job to help, but the guard is unmoved and unmoving. She stares at him for quite some time, fury burning behind her small eyes. Without saying another word, she turns and storms off, her face with resolution. Set with resolution. Claruzema. You see this Orlan cautiously making his way down a dark stone corridor. His eyes are wide and he is constantly looking over his shoulder, every noise making him jump. He appears dressed for adventuring, but his armor is ill-fitting and his pack refuses to stay on his back. Another sound reaches his ears from behind and he spins about, peering into the darkness, trying to discern the source of the noise. He stands there for several seconds, holding his breath, staring. When nothing happens, he lets out a relieved sigh and turns to continue walking. His pack slips from his shoulders, and cooking implements tumble out, sending a clattering din down the quiet hall. He freezes, listening in the tomb-silent aftermath of the accident. Booming footsteps reach his ears from behind him. He lets out a little squeal and runs away from the approaching creature, clattering through his spilled gear. The footsteps speed up, and the Orlan squeals again, hurrying down the hall. There's a guttural growl close behind him, and he turns to see an ogre emerge from the darkness behind him. The squeal becomes a yell, and he puts his head down and breaks into a run. The ogre steps on the spilled gear and lets out a bellow of pain, breaking stride and looking down at his foot as it continues to hop forward. Panicked, the Orlan hits a tripwire pulled across the corridor without even noticing it there. It knocks his feet out from under him, and he tumbles to the floor, rolling a bit before ending up on his back. He lifts his head slightly and looks down the hall. The ogre has regained its stride and is running at him, hand out, intent on grabbing him. Both Orlan and ogre are unaware of the battle axe swinging a deathly arc through the air, accidentally tripped by the Orlan. The axe buries itself in the ogre's face, stopping it in its tracks, hand extended, blood making a trail down its face and dripping to the floor. The Orlan stares wide-eyed as the ogre goes limp, its weight slowly pulling it off the axe with a wet sucking sound. It comes loose and falls, eliciting a final squeal from the Orlan, who scoots backward to avoid getting squashed by the falling ogre's head. After a few moments processing what just happened, the Orlan quickly scrambles over the ogre's body and runs down the hall towards the exit. Let's talk to Weenan here.
Don't stand on
Wenin?
ceremony. State your business.
This rough-looking man glances at you briefly as he scans the mercenaries milling about the room. Tell me about the dozens. Weenens? I'm gonna go with Wenin. Wenin's expression becomes serious, the timbre of his voice deepening. Good men, and women trying to walk in the footsteps of great men and women who came before us. We're a loose association of warriors and expeditionaries in the Deerwood. Not as fancy as the Crucible Knights, mind you, but at least we remembered our roots. Yeah, at least they remember someone else's roots and pretend to be like them, he means. Your roots. The Crucible Knights take pride in having won the Deerwood's freedom 150 years ago, but we're the ones who've protected it. Everyone knows that the Saints' War ended with the Godhammer destroying Widewind at Evandur Bridge. A lot of folks don't know how Widewind wound up on that bridge. 7 men, 5 women. They walked out of Halgut's Citadel and faced down a god, held him there until the bomb went off. He thumped on the table. That's the legacy we defend. Some call us mercenaries, but we don't need matching armor and silky coats to remember our roles. We're the same now as we were then. We stand up for the people. First line of defense, whatever it takes. We got new enemies now. If it's not Widewind, it's his damned legacy. There's the damn soul butchers in Brackenbury making things worse on all of us, probably causing the whole thing one way or another. Well, we haven't gone anywhere, and there's a lot more than 12 of us now. We defended Deerwood once. We'll do it again. Weenan casually nods your way. His eyes continue to float from mercenary to mercenary as he speaks. What else do you need?
Go see Osric.
I'm looking for work.
He's usually got something. You do well for him, maybe I can find you more.
He looks you up and down. Finally, oh, what did it say? He looks you up and down. Finally, he points to a man leading drills. Okay. There's Osric. Arrows are for practice in the Expedition Hall only. Purchase weapons for personal use from Sawnail. No exceptions, Osric. The outer bands of this target are pocked with countless holes. The edges of these swords have been blunted for practice. Someone scrawled Commander Cliver across the dummy in chalk. Friend of yours. There's a room and stuff over here. Okay, there's the door. Let's take a little look over here first. See if there's anyone to talk to. This looks like a shop to me. Yeah, there's a saw nailed. The woman looks up from polishing a dagger. Haven't seen you before. You headed out with an expedition company? She raises an eyebrow. Or are you betting on one? How long have you worked at Admeth's Den? She leans on the countertop and drums her fingers. Oh, a few years. I got in the minute the last merchant cleared out. She nods towards the main area of the hall. They've got new expeditions venturing out every week, so this is a great place to do business. And the dozens make loyal friends and loyal customers so long as you stick by them. She taps the counter. The vendor who was here before me, they ran him out when he sold his best helms to a pair of Crucible Knights. I've been careful not to make the same mistake. Tell me about the expeditions. They're groups of adventurers that venture into the wilderness. More than a few of them try their luck scouring the ruins. Most of them come back empty-handed, if they come back at all. Betting on them is almost as risky as actually going, but that's how the expeditions get funded, and every once in a while, one of the adventuring companies will strike it big and make a fortune for their backers. Okay, can I buy something? I'm afraid not. See, the dozens only do business with me so long as I only do business with them, and they're good customers. She jerks her thumb at the door. But if you get on Osric's good side, he can make an exception for you. He's probably training some of the new recruits right now. Farewell. Okay, so we gotta talk to Osric either way. I mean, we could try and rob back here, but that's not really my thing. Even if there's probably great items in it. Can't bring myself to do it. Okay, we gotta talk to Osric. He was over here. He or she, actually.
Last time,
yeah, okay.
Keep your fucking blade up. If that dummy was armed, it'd have your head off.
This man watches the training adventurers with the disinterested contempt of someone whose skills are wasted in this setting. He barks at one of them. I doubt he has patience for me asking questions. Any way I could get access to Sawnil's merchandise? She only sells to friends of the dozens. Although, he sizes you up, I do have something I need done. Something that requires... He glances sidelong at an adventurer flailing away helplessly at a dummy. Competence. What do you need done?
I was formerly one of the Knights of the Crucible. When I left, they kept my arms and armor. The arms they can have, but the armor belonged to my family. I'd like it back.
Doesn't sound like leaving the Crucible Knights was your choice.
Don't choose to leave knighthood. The Crucible Knights, they may not be a real knighthood, but the oaths you swear are just as true.
He stares off a moment.
Still, turns out that even unofficial knighthoods have politics. You cross the wrong man, suddenly all kinds of accusations are thrown your way, and nobody believes you.
Nothing more destructive than a crowd with the wrong idea. Why don't you just go ask for it back?
No. Oh, they'd like that, I'm sure. But I won't be going. Sooner be torn apart by dogs than give them the satisfaction.
Osric looks away from you, his jaw protruding. What's this armor?
It's a breastplate. Not much to look at, and it's seen far too much use, but it's been in my family since the liberation.
I'll see what I can
Then
do.
it's Penhelm you're looking for. A low snake of a man. If he was to die choking on his own black tongue, it'd be too kind of fate. He kept it when he had me kicked out.
He nods with a trace of gratitude. He leans in closer. I got word from a reliable source that Penhelm visited a forger in Andra's gift right after having his soul lineage read by a cipher in Dunride Row. Should you have it in your heart to find a way to ruin his life while you're there, well, drink's on me. Having his soul lineage read.
It's a requirement to join the Knights. They have to ensure a novitiate doesn't have a subversive lineage. If Penhelm's superiors found out his affidavit was a fake, his career would be over. Every novitiate gets an affidavit from Dunreed Row, and those are stored at Crucible Keep. If you find Penhelm's, one of those ciphers could tell you if it's real.
Got business with me? I'm looking for work.
On an expedition, talk to Wenin. I just handle these mercenary shit shovelers. Adventurers, I mean.
Weenan clears his throat in the background, and Osric's mouth puckers. Tell me about the expedition hall. It's treasure hunting, plain and simple. Sponsors put up money, hire adventurers to explore the wilds, looking for ruins mostly. If they come back alive, they split the spoils. If not, it's because they handle their weapons like this lot in front of me, who might as well be digging their own graves right now. I need to hire an adventurer? No, we're good. Farewell. Well, another quest. Let's head to the library next, I think. I wonder how do we look at my reputation? Let's take a look here. Probably in character. Okay, it shows no matter who I'm on. So, benevolent 3, stoic 1, diplomatic 1, passionate 1, rational 1, honest 2, deceptive 1. Defiance Bay, reputation neutral, Gilded Vale, champion, overwhelmingly good. Okay. So people know me by these things. Passionate, diplomatic, stoic, rational, honest, slightly deceptive. I wonder if the deceptive is from something I did to try and keep myself out of trouble.
Alright then.
That's cool. So we checked here. Have we checked over here? Yeah, we have. So we're going this way. That's where we're heading. But we might as well check out the rest of these buildings and stuff before we head to a new area. So we'll head up this way and around this way kind of thing. Before we head on to the Ducal Palace maybe next. For Edir. Okay, we found another house. Let's check it out. Hopefully there's not another robbery being planned in this one. Hello? This painting depicts the famous scene from The Light of the Dawn in which the traveler and the ghost happen upon a starving man. I think we read a bit of that play. The Light of the Dawn. Well, we're not here to rob the place. We're just here to see if anybody needs help or if there's anyone to talk to, really. Unlocking this will require the proper key. Okay. Fair enough. Nothing we can do here. I guess this is the screen we get for Defiance Bay. The artwork is exceptionally good. Now, Scrivener's Dormitory. What's a Scrivener? Rangers are bonded to their animal companions, and the pair work best as a team, I think it said. Spilled tea, empty ink pots, and one detailed sketch of a fire-breathing old dwarf are all that remains of a long study session. Corin. Hello?
Welcome.
By Wiles' eyeless face, you're one short ogre, but why are you green? And how are you getting the ducks to keep flying around you like that? Survival 2. Let me guess. You smoked a lot of white leaf, or did you get your hands on some snowcap? He claps his hand and laughs. Snowcap! Snowcap! So few people know snowcap, much less ogres. He beams at you and nods his head. You're a scrivener? He nods. Yes, I am a scrivener. I read books. I write books. I once ate a book, but only because it looked like sweet pie. Or perhaps it was a sweet pie baked to look like a book. Interesting. Oh. I'm also a collector of herbs, flowers, plants. I sell them. Mostly I eat them. Tell me about the dormitory. It's where the scriveners who work at the Hall of Revealed Mysteries sleep. I'm a scrivener, he sniffs. This place smells like old stockings. So he sells lots of different plants, like he said. Mostly I eat them. Sturdy bunks are topped with thin blankets and even thinner mattresses. Those are just random scriveners. The sturdy bunks are... Okay, we read that already. Let's talk to him. You must be here for Corin. I guess so. So scriveners are like scribes. A rancid stench rises from the basin. The dishes at the top of the pile are flecked with morsels of meat and cheese. Those at the bottom are coated in a slimy fuzz. Ew. Disgusting, guys. Anything else to see in here? I mean, we could rob the place, but that's not why I'm here. Alright. Well, we'll head out the door, and I guess we'll end the episode. We'll find out what goes on at the Hall of Mysteries. Is that what they call it? The big library that everyone's been talking about. So, until then, if you enjoyed it, please leave me a like, subscribe if you want to see more, and leave me a comment. Let me know what you thought. This is FatherofTwo, signing off.